Hi there, Spencer here again. So again, this is a follow-up video for the Mission Plastro mid-range drivers. So the mid-range drivers, basically, as you can see, there is a difference between these two speakers. The main difference is, well, the only difference is this very front fascia. So the front fascia is flat and this front fascia is coned, very slightly coned. Now, the scenario is what actually Mission done was the mid-range drivers themselves weren't actually a Mission unit, the same as the trebles, and I believe the actual bass drivers as well weren't Mission either. The main reason I say this is that the original Mission speakers themselves, if you look at the housing, so I'm going to give you some in-depth information about these. If we just switch them over, so we turn that one over, we turn this one over. So as you can see, the instant visual you can see is that the housing, if we look in depth into the housing itself, is a cast aluminium, and it's got these funny sort of pointed shapes on the back. Now those pointed shapes are also on the back of this housing, and the housing itself is an exact replica in the cutouts in these areas, and an exact replica in these areas as well. The magnet size, as you can see, let me just get a bird's eye view if I can. The magnet size is exactly the same, it's identical, and the material inside here, that's a sort of a cloth material in the back there, and we have the same sort of cloth material in the back there. The only difference is the colour. So that's a blue cloth material with a I would say that is the natural hemp fibre they used on the actual material itself. You can see the fibre strands in there. So if we go back to the front of this, you can just about see the fibre strands. It's a little bit darker, this one. They're both black, the units are. So anyway, long story short, both units are exactly the same. This is the Mission Plastro unit. This is the model number for the Mission Plastro unit, LFXT18W90S. And then if we go to this Vifa, which is made in Denmark. Now, Vifa is no longer trading. Originally, they were sold out to the Chinese in about 2004, 2005. Now, I've only found this information from doing a lot of research online, but you can see the XT18WO. There we go, XT18W. Right, so W and then 0 or O 80, and that one is 90S. So there's again a difference with the model number from Vifa and the model number from Mission. Mission's model number is a model number assigned by Mission, and Vifa, their model number is their own model number assigned by their company. Vifa were the manufacturer of these speakers. All right, Mission went to them and had them manufacture the speaker mid-range drive units for the Plastros. So under a lot more inspection, you can see these actual wire clamps are exactly the same between the two speakers, although this speaker is missing those. That's actually what's happened with this speaker. The damage to that is the wires have been pulled out. So someone, whilst they were trying to replace the wires on the mid-range driver, sorry, they were trying to replace the treble unit, they took out the mid-range driver to gain access to the treble. Now, I will just say that the treble unit is mounted into the Plastro housing with nuts and bolts. So when you turn the Allen key on the treble unit to remove the treble unit, you actually need to hold a spanner on the back side of the nut. And when you remove the mid-range units, they're actually threaded into the mid-range unit itself, into the housing itself, which means that you can unscrew all the bolts that hold this in, and then you have to reach up behind it with a spanner to get the nuts to hold the treble unit, nut and bolt, from spinning. All right, so just please make sure you do that correctly, because you'll sit there for quite a while and it won't undo otherwise. So the main problem, well, what I was going to say, not a problem, but the main thing is that we know the manufacturer of the mid-ranges now. We know the manufacturer of the tweeter units. The main problem is that this company is no longer trading. They've ceased trading, and I have spoke to the owner of ScanSpeak, who actually in depth, I've spoke to him in depth, and he was there working there whilst Mission placed their order, and actually dealt with him direct for the Plastro tweeters. He has said that he knows a company that may be able to repair the mid-range units if you can't find any to have them repaired. Now, the only thing stopping me from fitting these mid-range units into my Plastros is this little lip. So I don't know if you can see this, but it is literally a 2.5mm lip from the edge of that flat. See, that is machined flat there, just on the edge, and there is a 2.5mm lip from there. So we're talking about 3mm difference in width. Now the reason that makes a difference is, as you can see, this is a ring that the Plastro speakers fit into. Let me just turn it over so you can see. That's one of the fascia rings. I've actually had them recast in aluminium, and the Plastro speaker itself sits inside the ring. So that's actually countersunk, fitted in countersunk, with a little step, and that little step is what crushes the actual speaker against the ring and the housing itself. So when you come to fit these new speakers into the rings, they're ever so slightly just too big, and they won't go into the actual housing, so they're actually standing proud. Now, my solution is to be able to repair the speakers that I have. I could actually find a manufacturer to pull this unit apart, replace the voice coil, replace the spider and the cone, but my concern is that the speakers won't have these rubbers on that they had from factory, and the material of the cone isn't going to be the same. So I'm a bit concerned about doing that. I would rather keep the material the same and have a custom ring made. So I'm now in the process of having custom rings made for these drive units, to fit these drive units into the Plastros, which mean that I won't have to actually alter the front fascia of this speaker. So you can see the front fascia of this speaker is ever so slightly curved inwards, so it slopes from here high down to low. This front fascia is dead level. So bring the two together, you can see the difference in height in the fascias. So that's basically what the only difference is between this unit and this unit. The materials are both the same, the speaker magnets are both the same, the spiders are the same, voice coils are the same, and obviously the wattage are the same. So once I get these actual custom rings made, which I'm halfway through now, the speakers themselves will be able to fit in and fit into the Plastro units with no problem at all. They'll bolt straight in direct with a custom ring made, and we'll be able to repair the speakers if there's any damage in the future. Now, I was lucky enough to find, I believe, 13 of these drive units in total, so I've bought all 13. But purely because they're brand new items. They've never been fitted to a speaker. They actually come with these little pop-ins. So I found them off a company from Spain. He had them listed on his site. So because they're so rare, and the chance of ever finding another speaker the same from the actual company who made the original driver was so limited, I thought, right, I'll buy them all. And I mean, you guys may be able to find some more out there, but these Viva was the actual company that manufactured them, and I thought you know, drive units, mid-ranges and trebles are the ones that fail. So because they're the ones that fail, I thought, right, well, I'll buy all I can of those. ScanSpeak still make the tweeters, and then if I need to ever repair my speakers, I can. So the scenario is in the future, once I have these rings done, if anyone needs any help with you know, drive units at all, so if you've actually got a broken drive unit, I'll happily supply you one with rings, and we're going to have them powder coated to the right colour. But my scenario is that I don't want to go and sell them to everyone willy-nilly and then they just sit on people's shelves. I'd rather keep them for people that, because we're such a limited numbers speaker, I believe they're under 50 pairs made. So far we've managed to locate sort of 32 pairs definitely sold in the world. I don't want to go and end up, you know, selling all the speakers and then not having any for myself or other people in the future if yours aren't damaged. All right, so I hope this helps. This video helps. As you can see, the rubbers on each speaker are identical. The actual center nipple of the speaker are identical. The cone is identical. The speaker size is identical. So all the dimensions are identical apart from this very front face. And this front face is, funny enough, is glued on over the original front face. So if I just show you that, it's actually glued on over that. So the original front face is under there, but because of the magnet, there's no way to machine this down without damaging or causing heat to the speaker. So we're going down the road of having custom rings made. All right, so I hope this video helps. I'm now going to do just a last video on the actual bass driver, and yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, if I can help you in any way, give us a thumbs up, give us a like. I want to spread this information as far and as wide as we can, because it's took me months and months and months to find out, and I want other people to be able to fix their dream speakers. Thank you. Cheers. Bye-bye.